happy International Albinism Awareness to you. So, I just wanted to empower that we are beautiful, we are lovely, and our skin is beautiful. We're made to stand out, and we celebrate this in unity. So, let me just bear with me for a second. I just got my notes on my phone. So here it is. So the theme is united in making our voice heard. The theme was chosen because including voices of persons with albinism is essential to ensure equality, to celebrate how groups of persons with albinism and individuals increase the visibility of persons with albinism in all domains of life, to encourage and celebrate unity amongst groups of persons with albinism, to amplify our voice and visibility of persons with albinism in all areas of life, to highlight the work being done by albinism groups around the world. So this moves on to the next point. Speakers I'm going to choose for this point, I chose Janessa. Janissa, you've been very quiet, girl, so I'm going to come and bring you onto this segment now. Janissa, Louise, Josh, and Darren. Darren, are you there?
I'm there.
Yeah, just switch your... I'm going to bring you onto this section, bro. The question I'm going to ask, right, for all four of you, why is it so the inclusion for equality, why is it essential for the albinism community?
I could talk first.
Yeah, sure.
So while I was in college acquiring my MBA, I had a couple of internships in political science. I had an internship in City Hall. So I worked with the mayor of my city. I worked with a couple of people that were in city council and state reps and senators. And I believe it's very important for us to have our voices be heard and our needs to be met so that we can live an equal lifestyle that other people take advantage of and don't really appreciate as much. When you lose one sense, the other ones do get stronger, but at the same time, we have to play a little bit harder to still play on an equal playing field. And while I was in my internships, I try to get other people that don't have the same problems that we have to understand that life is really not that easy. It's not as simple as they try to make it out to be. We changed a lot in Springfield and in Massachusetts. We have a company called the Massachusetts Commission for the Blind. They help us pay for tuition. They help with employment. They help us find resources and get us connected with other individuals who are blind or have albinism. So if you don't try, nothing's ever going to happen. You have to be the one that wants to change. If you don't want to change, it's never going to come.
Amazing. Janissa, same question for you. Why is inclusion for equality essential within the albinism community?
I believe it's essential because without exposure or without talking about it, how will others know how important albinism is, or how will people know what affects us, or how will people know what we go through, or just our day-to-day life if no one ever speaks up about it and makes our voices heard. So I think that is very important, because that's really the only way you can see change happen. And I know we can all think of different things that's happening in our countries, different coalitions that have formed, different organizations. That's all because someone chose to raise their voice and speak out on an issue and bring awareness to it and bring it to the forefront, so that way others could know about it. And from that point on, we have what we have today. So I believe it's the same way with us. Although we are all from different parts of the world, or in some of our cases, for those of us who are Americans, although we are located in different parts of the U.S., we're able to use our voices and shed light on this condition. And as a result, we're able to bring about that inclusion, or, that equality, or at least tickle someone's ear and make them a little interested in it, just based off of, like the gentleman before me was saying, our own experiences, or, just bringing it about just, straightforward. So I think that's why it is very important. And I think we're doing a great job with it.
Darren, can I come to you, sir? What is your opinion about this? Darren? Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, D. What is your opinion about the inclusion for equality?
Well, I'm going to be, my life is a totally different perspective. I have a totally different perspective on life than a lot of people with albinism. So I'm going to start by saying, like, a lot of people said that they didn't even meet or talk or find someone with albinism until they got a lot older. I was raised, my oldest brother had albinism, and so did I. So my middle brother, he was actually brown skinned. So he was actually the person that was different between the three of us. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, like, a lot of my experiences made me watching my oldest brother made me actually become confident. So I know a lot of people with albinism suffer from confidence, and I think I will talk about this is that, and I'm sure a lot of people just because us people with albinism, I hate when they say you look like somebody else. Like, they're not looking at our face at all. They just see the color of your skin and just immediately say you look like someone. And for all the males, particularly of Black descent, I'm going to make this comment. If you live in America or in the Caribbean, they quickly call you yellow man or say you look like them, and that used to piss me off. And I'm going off the tangent, forgive me, but I'm going to a point. So that's to make me extremely irate. And with that being said, because I've seen obviously yellow man, and he looks nothing like me at all. So the guy obviously is sick now. I hope he all is well for him. But my point, I think the biggest change I think people need to do is be. The biggest thing is like Google. Like, there's no reason for you to insult or to ask an ignorant question. If you don't know, Google it, because like I don't have patience for ignorance at all, especially considering like the fact is, if people don't know, like, albinism has different degrees. Like my brother had lighter hair than me, but I actually, like, we still suffer from albinism. Like, I had a slight bit darker hair than darker skin, but we still had albinism. So, like, I think people don't know that there's different types of albinism and how's it affected. There's even people with a slight bit of melanin with albinism. It really affects the eye more so. That's how they determine albinism. People who don't know that, they determine it by the stagnant. So a lot of people don't know that. So I think like that old saying, reading is fundamental, but I don't think people take the time to read. A lot of people have talked, and a young lady I talked to maybe about 15 minutes ago made a point about available scholarships. I'm a bit older than her. When I grew up, I didn't know any of that stuff. But it's funny that there's tons of scholarships, not even just for the blind, but people with albinism, period. Like people who suffer from, skin disorders or issues with their skin, period. So if you don't know that and you're looking to go to school, like you said, you can go to school for free. Mm-hmm. I didn't have that privilege. I ended up paying for school, but that's fine. But I think it's also important that people understand that if you don't believe in yourself, you can't expect other people to really believe in you. So you have to honestly find your space. By finding your space or your place, and always look at, and I think you and I've talked about this, as yourself, not just as different, but as an oddity, as a compliment, because your difference makes you actually, people want to know you. That, at least that's what it did for me. Mm-hmm. So like, take it as a compliment. Don't like, and I know some people also, a young lady said, some people have social anxieties. College changed my life. I went from like having no friends to being more of a social person. Now I'm not exactly an extrovert, but at the same time, it made me more easy for me to converse with other people. So with that being said, I'm going to stop by saying, like, this the most important thing I think for people is to definitely just read. Like, there's no reason why you can ask me the most ignorant question and the answer is just by typing in something in Google.
I'm gonna go to Josh. So the question applies to you as well. Like, why do you think it's essential for inclusion, for equality within the albinism community? Josh Central.
So I think it's definitely important to have those sort of conversations about inclusivity, because let's just be honest with each other. Like, when we first get out into the world, we're excluded, we're alienated, we're made to believe that just because we look the way we do, and if you look at everybody on the thing right now, we all look very different. We all come from very different backgrounds. We're all very diverse. Okay. But in the same instance, we all get ostracized. We all get alienated. We all get cast aside because we don't look the way we don't look like who we're supposed to look. Personal experience, like I got pushed aside because by my peers starting from elementary school, because me living in a predominantly Latino neighborhood, me being Latino, being Puerto Rican, born in New York City, I was raised with the same values and the same culture and the same music and the same mannerisms as any other Latino. But then when I get looked at, and especially as a child, they just see, and you're gonna have to forgive how I say this, they just see white boy, they just see gringo, they just see el cano, they just see el albino. That's it. That's all they see. And so for the majority of the people that really got to know me, I kind of have to laugh at this now. For the majority of the people that got to know me, I was the Italian Puerto Rican because of my accent. Like I have this strong sort of New York accent, and I'm proud of my roots. I'm proud of where I came from. And I just think just on the fact that we are proud of our roots and we are proud of where we come from, and we are proud of our own cultures and our own ancestry and our own descendants, that we should have a seat at the table no matter what.
Amazing.
Or else why bother having these cultural sort of awareness seminars if we aren't a part of that conversation?